The history and impact of coffee, from its origins to global influence. Coffee, one of the most widely consumed beverages in the world, has a rich and complex history that spans centuries and continents. Its journey from a humble plant in the highlands of Ethiopia to a global commodity that shapes economies, cultures, and daily rituals is a testament to its enduring appeal. This essay explores the origins of coffee, its spread across the world, its influence on culture and trade, and its lasting impact on societies worldwide. Origins of coffee, the Ethiopian legend. Now, before we move on, please help a small channel grow. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, good or bad, leave them below. Back to the story. The story of coffee begins in the ancient forests of Ethiopia, where the coffee plant, Coffea arabica, is believed to have originated. According to popular legend, the discovery of coffee is attributed to a goat herder named Koldi, who lived in the 9th century. Koldi noticed that his goats became unusually energetic after eating the red berries from a certain tree. Curious, he tried the berries himself and experienced a similar burst of energy. Koldi shared his discovery with a local monk, who, after experimenting with the berries, created a drink that helped him stay awake during long hours of prayer. This marked the beginning of coffee's journey as a stimulant and social beverage. While the legend of Koldi is charming, the true origins of coffee are likely more gradual. The Oromo people of Ethiopia are known to have consumed coffee as a food and drink for centuries before it gained widespread popularity. They mixed the coffee berries with animal fat to create energy-rich balls, which were consumed during long journeys or battles. The practice of brewing coffee as a beverage likely began in the region, with the beans being roasted, ground, and steeped in water. Coffee in the Arab world, the birth of a global commodity. Coffee's transformation from a local Ethiopian tradition to a global phenomenon began in the Arab world. By the 15th century, coffee had reached Yemen, where it was cultivated and traded extensively. The port city of Mocha, Al-Makka, in Yemen became a central hub for coffee trade, and the beverage quickly gained popularity in the Islamic world. Coffee houses, known as Kahwa Khana, emerged as social and intellectual centers where people gathered to drink coffee, engage in conversation, and exchange ideas. The stimulating effects of coffee made it particularly appealing in the Islamic world, where alcohol was prohibited. Coffee houses became spaces for social interaction, political discussion, and even religious contemplation. However, the drink's popularity also sparked controversy. Some religious leaders viewed coffee as an intoxicant and sought to ban it, while others defended its use. Despite these debates, coffee continued to thrive, and its consumption spread throughout the Middle East, Persia, and North Africa. Coffee reaches Europe. A controversial arrival. Coffee was introduced to Europe in the 16th century, likely through trade with the Ottoman Empire. The first European coffee houses appeared in Venice, a major trading hub, in the early 1600s. From there, coffee spread to other European cities, including London, Paris, and Vienna. However, its arrival was met with skepticism and resistance. Some Europeans viewed coffee as a Muslim drink and associated it with foreign cultures and religions. The Catholic Church even debated whether coffee was permissible for Christians to consume. Despite these challenges, coffee's popularity grew rapidly. Coffee houses became centers of intellectual and social activity, much like their counterparts in the Arab world. In England, coffee houses were known as penny universities, where patrons could engage in lively debates for the price of a cup of coffee. These establishments played a significant role in the Enlightenment, fostering the exchange of ideas and the spread of knowledge. Coffee and colonialism, the rise of plantation economies. The global demand for coffee led to the establishment of coffee plantations in European colonies, particularly in the Americas. The Dutch were among the first to cultivate coffee outside of the Arab world, introducing it to their colonies in Java, Indonesia, and Ceylon, Sri Lanka. However, it was in the Americas that coffee production truly flourished. In the 18th century, coffee was introduced to the Caribbean and South America, where the climate and soil were ideal for its cultivation. Brazil, in particular, became a major coffee producer, thanks to the efforts of Portuguese colonists. By the 19th century, Brazil was the world's largest coffee exporter, a position it still holds today. The rise of coffee plantations had profound social and economic consequences, including the exploitation of enslaved and indentured laborers. The demand for cheap labor to work on coffee plantations fueled the transatlantic slave trade and contributed to the economic disparities that persist in many coffee-producing regions. Coffee and industrialization, a beverage for the modern age. The 19th and 20th centuries saw the industrialization of coffee production and consumption. Advances in transportation, such as the steamship and the railroad, made it easier to transport coffee from producing regions to consumers around the world. The invention of instant coffee in the early 20th century further revolutionized the industry, making coffee more accessible and convenient. Coffee also became deeply embedded in the daily routines of industrialized societies. In the United States, coffee became a staple of the working class, providing a much-needed energy boost during long shifts in factories and offices. The rise of coffee chains, such as Starbucks in the late 20th century, transformed coffee into a cultural phenomenon, with a focus on quality, variety, and the coffeehouse experience. Coffee and culture, a global ritual. Coffee's influence extends far beyond its economic and historical significance. It has become a cultural symbol, representing hospitality, creativity, and community. In many cultures, the act of sharing a cup of coffee is a gesture of friendship and connection. From the traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremony to the Italian espresso bar, coffee rituals reflect the values and traditions of the societies in which they are practiced. Coffee has also inspired art, literature, and music. Writers such as Honoré de Balzac and Johann Sebastian Bach have celebrated coffee in their works, while coffeehouses have served as gathering places for artists, intellectuals, and revolutionaries. In the modern era, coffee culture continues to evolve, with an emphasis on sustainability, fair trade, and artisanal craftsmanship. Coffee and trade, a global commodity today. Coffee is one of the most traded commodities in the world, second only to oil in terms of value. The global coffee industry supports millions of farmers, workers, and businesses, from small-scale producers in Ethiopia to multinational corporations. However, the coffee trade is not without its challenges. Price volatility, climate change, and unequal power dynamics within the supply chain often leave coffee farmers vulnerable to economic instability. In recent years, there has been a growing movement toward ethical and sustainable coffee production. Fair trade certifications, organic farming practices, and direct trade relationships aim to ensure that coffee farmers receive fair compensation for their labor and that environmental impacts are minimized. These efforts reflect a broader awareness of the social and environmental responsibilities associated with coffee consumption. Conclusion: the enduring legacy of coffee, from its origins in the highlands of Ethiopia to its status as a global commodity, coffee has had a profound impact on human history and culture. Its journey reflects the interconnectedness of the world, as it has been shaped by trade, colonialism, and globalization. Coffee has inspired social movements, fueled revolutions, and brought people together across cultures and generations. As we sip our morning cup of coffee, we are participating in a tradition that spans centuries and continents. Coffee is more than just a beverage, it is a symbol of human ingenuity, resilience, and connection. Its story reminds us of the power of a simple bean to transform the world. Whether enjoyed in a bustling cafe or a quiet kitchen, coffee continues to be a source of comfort, inspiration, and community for people around the globe. Please like and subscribe.